So Jacob's last words to his sons. Then Jacob called together all his sons and said, "Gather around me, and I will tell you what will happen to each of you in the days to come. Come and listen, you sons of Jacob. Listen to Israel, your father. Reuben, you are my first son, my strength, the child of my vigorous youth, and you are the first in rank and first in power. But you are as unruly as a flood, and you will be first no longer. For you went to bed with my wife and defiled my marriage couch. Simon and Levi are two of a kind. Their weapons are instruments of violence." Sorry, pages are stuck together. There we go. "May I never join in their meetings. May I never be party to their plans for their anger. For in anger they murdered men, and they crippled oxen just for sport." Yikes. "A curse on their anger, for it is fierce. A curse on their wrath, for it is cruel. I will scatter them among the descendants of Jacob, and I will disperse them throughout Israel. Judah, your brothers will praise you. You will grasp your enemies by the neck. All your relatives will bow before you. Judah, my son, is a young lion that has finished eating its prey. Like a lion, he crouches and lies down. Like a lioness who dares to rouse him. The scepter will not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from his descendants, until the coming of the one to whom it belongs, the one whom all nations will honor. He ties his foal to a grapevine, the colt of his donkey to a choice vine. He washes his clothes in wine, and his robes in blood of grapes. His eyes are darker than wine, and his teeth are whiter than milk. Zebulun will settle by the seashore, and will be a harbor for ships. His borders will extend to Sidon. Issachar is a sturdy donkey resting between two saddle packs. When he sees how good the countryside is and how pleasant the land, he will bend his shoulder to the load and submit himself to hard labor. Dan will govern his people like any other tribe in Israel. Dan will be a snake beside the road, a poisonous viper along the path that bites the horse's hooves, so its riders is thrown off. I trust in you for salvation, O Lord. Gad will be attacked by marauding bands, but he will attack them when they retreat. Asher will dine on rich foods and produce food fit for kings. Naphtali is a doe set free that bears beautiful fawns. Joseph is the foal of wild donkeys, or the foal of wild donkeys. The foal of a wild donkey is at a spring, one of the wild donkeys on a ridge. Archers attacked him savagely. They shot at him and harassed him, but his bow remained taut, and his arms were strengthened by the hands of the mighty one of Jacob, by the shepherd, the rock of Israel. May the God of your father help you. May the Almighty bless you with the blessings of heavens above, and the blessings of the watery depths below, and the blessings of breast of the womb. And may my father's blessings on you surpass the blessings of my ancestors, reaching to the heights of the eternal hills. May these blessings rest on the head of Joseph, who is a prince among his brothers. Benjamin is a ravenous wolf, devouring his enemies in the morning and dividing his plunder in the evening. These are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is what their father has said to them as his goodbye. He blessed each one with an appropriate blessing. Jacob's death and burial. Then Jacob instructed them, "Soon I will die and join my ancestors. Bury me with my father and grandfather in the cave in the field of Ephron the Hittite. This is the cave in the field of Machpelah near Mamre in Canaan, that Abraham bought from Ephron the Hittite as a permanent burial site. There Abraham and his wife Sarah are buried, and Isaac and his wife Rebekah are buried. And there I buried Leah. It is a plot of land in the cave that my grandfather Abraham bought from the Hittites." Then, when Jacob had finished his charge to his sons, he drew his feet to the bed and breathed his last and joined his ancestors in death. That's amazing that he felt called to give each person an appropriate blessing. And so let's dive into that just a little bit more and see if we can learn something from it. So these are the recovery commentary footnotes at the bottom of the Life Recovery Bible. So Simeon and Levi were characterized by violent tempers, and the history of these brothers in Genesis corroborates Jacob's assessment. After their sister Dinah was raped, they took revenge by deceiving and slaughtering all the men of the city where the atrocity had occurred, and this tendency needed to be curbed. Many years later, however, when Moses shouted for all who were on the Lord's side to come and join him, the Levites came and rigorously defended God's cause. As a result, they were chosen as God's priest in Israel. And let us look to God to transform our weaknesses into strengths, just as he did with the descendants of Levi. I love that. I love that God can redeem us and help us get out of our dysfunction. So let me read this other recovery footnote. Jacob's remarks concerning each of his sons seems to be a bit harsh, but the information he shared should give us helpful direction. We have a lot to learn from our parents, but often they aren't willing to be honest with us, or if they are, we aren't really ready to listen. We need to learn both to speak honestly and to listen with respect. And I love what Jacob says about the tribe of Judah. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the tribe that King David comes out of, and therefore Jesus comes out of. And if we go back, it says, Judah, my son, is a young lion. And then it talks about the coming of the one who it belongs, the one whom all nations will honor. Well, I'm assuming that is Jesus. It says the scepter will not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from its descendants. So it sort of implies that this tribe is going to be ruling on some level. So I think that's just really cool. The fact that this story is like thousands of years before. Anyway, this is the very beginning. They still have 400 more years in Egypt, I believe, before they even return to Canaan. And so we'll jump into that a little bit later. Next time I see you, we'll be in chapter 50. So I look forward to seeing you then.